bringing new members into those organizations. Well, to give you an idea of what a lot of people have said, it used to be soccer. Member can't attend regularly because they have children taking the soccer game. So several years I've talked to people and I said, golly gee, Bert, we've lost our membership, our young people, new members. You think that it's totally different? It wouldn't affect the chamber with their reluctance to join, to be committed to attending and so forth, like those clubs have had. You think might have it, the internet was the latest thing. They say, well, look, the internet, one organization says it, no doubt the internet has cost us a lot of our retention of members because they hit the internet as soon as they get off work, get home, even those without the soccer kids, you know. So I don't know. From
Bowie has changed
viewpoint,
quite a lot. And a lot of people who lived here for a very long time have moved out, and a lot of new great people have moved in and who are not used to those organizations. So I mean, there's been a change. I think one of the secrets to our success is that the business climate in Bowie has changed. It used to be how to get people to come to Bowie. Now, Bowie is the center of commerce for this region. I mean, if you want to go to have have some fine dining, you go to Bowie. If you want to go shopping and I have a traffic snarl around you, you go to Bowie. If you want to see a nice ball game, you come to Bowie. And if you want to have that camera click at you when you're driving a little too fast, you come to Bowie. So Bowie has really become the center of commerce as opposed to having to get people to come here. It's now people come here from all over to use our business, develop with our businesses. And so that's a different dynamic that's really helped us out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's still doing well there. How about our police department? What do they have to say about where we are there? How that's helped to meet community and influence?
Chief Neske's done a great job of reaching out to businesses in Bowie, unlike any other department in this area, to have them be part of his outreach, really, and work with them very closely to help identify crimes that go on and have them have a good reporting system. And he's met with some of the major retailers in the city, and they're all signing on board. So we're very fortunate to have our own city police department.
Yeah, I have to say, he's done a wonderful job, and what he does for that RAD class he does, the self-defense class for women, I think is phenomenal that he spends that time and volunteers that time for.
Yeah, he teaches it himself.
Yeah, he teaches it himself, and it's to no cost to women. He's really, truly, genuinely trying to educate women how to protect themselves, and I think it's tremendous.
It is. We've talked about that with him. It's amazing. And there's a model I understand they use. They changed a little bit from when they first started. There's a certain model they use that has worked well otherwise. But you're right. When he explained that program, and he explained the differences, why that certain things would work for a woman versus a man, and it's spelled out in this program he's developed. It's done a great idea, and I think that one of the best things. I've been all for that for a very long time, having our own police department.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I do believe about us being a attractant area for business, retail, and so forth, a lot of problems that we have the police force take care of are people that are visiting. But he understands that. Chief Neske understands that a lot of our population, say on Saturday between 5 and 10, may be 50% Bowie residents, 50% outside of Bowie residents. And I notice he has a true understanding in anticipating what may occur and how they handle it. And I asked him, is there, like a traditional thing for big cities, is there's hot spots in those cities that they understand it, any police officer or chief, you talk to them. We don't particularly have that. So we have certain places that have, time of year has a lot to do with whether that's a riskier area and so forth.
One example of how good they are was on 4th of July, had a huge crowd at Allen Pond, and there were some people who acted like knuckleheads, and so the police responded, but they didn't go and, with their clubs or put people on the ground. They escorted them away and didn't make any arrests, but they kept everybody safe with a minimum of fanfare.
That's great.
And that's a real skill to be able to do that.
You're absolutely right. What do you think about these these radar monitors or whatever? In the school areas, that's fine. Do you think that community likes those? That's your opinion?
I think the people who live there love it because people speed by.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who are not fans of it. I got one of those, and I said to the mayor, "What does this mean?" He says, "Well, it means you owe me $40." but I think all we're asking people to do is to obey the law, and it doesn't click on until you're 11 miles over the speed limit. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think it's too much to ask for people, especially when children are around, to watch their speed in Bowie.
Absolutely. I travel by one on a regular basis, and I like it. What I like about it, even when school is not in session, even on the weekends, the traffic's slower.
Right.
Because people recognize the limit. The 20 thing, I don't think pay attention to that, but they do when they're flashing. There's a 20 flashing on road I travel. But there is a lot of people that really understand that they're community people. And you can tell people that don't live here, they speed. And I said, guy doesn't know. He doesn't even know what this is happening here.
It's definitely affected driver behavior. When they were first pushing for the Bowie Police Department, they did a survey in the city, what's your most pressing public safety issue? Number one by far was neighborhood traffic over any other thing.
Yeah.
And so
this
addresses that.
Says something, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, and we got time, I guess, to give a little more time to that. But I want to get into probably your preparation for taking over this year. You have a system where you were president-elect for a year. And right now you have a president-elect. Who's your president-elect?
Vinay McNeary, who's the vice president at Washington Savings Bank in Bowie. Mm-hmm. Terrific partner. We do everything together. I make sure that she knows what I'm doing, and it's going to be a great succession. The quirky thing, though, is the board this year decided to allow a second year for the president at his or the board's option, and so I was vehemently against that. But
Me too.
We'll see, right? But we'll see what happens.
Well, that's stretching the bylaws a little bit. So
well, they changed the bylaws.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way it could have been done because I cautioned about that.
Right. When were you president?
Yeah.
What year was that?
First year.
The very first. Wow.
And because of that, it's ingrained. Well, we aren't that old, as a chamber.
Right.
It's just
29 years.
There you go. I was the first president because I was president-elect. Our president was Fred McHugh on McHugh Realty. And 6 months, he called me up and said, and we worked close together. The only difference we had, I recommended we change the association to a chamber name, and he didn't like that much. We did. I make the motion at every board meeting. Then I went back and said, afterwards, when another president came on board and changed it, my recommendation to Greater Bowie. But Fred resigned in 6 months. So all of a sudden here, we've just got set up, got all our bylaws done.
Wow.
Got set up pretty good, and he left. He didn't leave town, but he left as president, so I took over. And at that time, the question was, okay, I'm 6 months president. Do I then take my automatic president-elect term? And that's what they agreed on. So I was the first full-term president. But we had some good presidents, and Fred always did very well. I recommend him for it. How we got together with Chamber, and we got about 5 minutes left. Dick Lowe, the mayor at the time, was helpful, and they assigned Jim Cronk, who worked with the city at the time, to work with us. And I was at the county, economic development, and of course John Rhodes and Joe Edwards over in Laurel. They didn't want us to have a chamber. They wanted us to have a business association. After all, the Greater Laurel, the Prince George's Chamber. We even had a meeting. We had a lot of business people attend, and they recommended that they would that we should be an association. But as it developed, Roy Dabney at the time, and Lynn, you remember his name, was very supportive of going ahead. When I told him, and this may have been a part of the problem where McKee thought 6 months of this is enough, We got started, now we're changed. But anyway, it worked out very well. We literally had 200 members when I left. and times are different now, and chambers don't grow like they once did. But we've had a lot of good people participating over the period of time. But I do believe that the real difference is survival. A lot of business organizations of any type, if they can survive 5 years, I think they're okay. Bowie's done well. What else do you think would be helpful to discuss today in this program?
Well, I think the future of economic development in this area and the business climate. Both the city and the county have taken steps to set up economic development investment funds, and we think as a chamber that's a wonderful thing.
Good.
Both for big projects to lure north of Grumman to this area, and for small projects and helping infill redevelopment. And so I think the city's already done its job. The county won it before the county council, and we hope the county council enacts that very quickly, because it's a tool that economic development folks, as you know, need to have and act with very quickly to close a deal. And it can't go through lengthy review and hearings. It has to, you make a deal with the business, you got to do it, get it done. And so both these funds will really help the city and the county have some skin in the game, so that when the state attracts businesses, they all don't go to the 270 corridor or Hunt Valley or someplace else. Absolutely
right. One area of economic development I think is sometimes they get away from is retention of businesses. And you can look back on the experience and see some businesses that have been in Prince George's County and no longer there. We took a tour of the Beltsville area years ago, and we saw a lot of businesses that had moved to Columbia and over in that county. And so this is what I would caution Ruth Baker about, our county executive, that be sure the economic development people are looking into service and businesses that are here now to retain them as they grow so they won't want to move. And of course we have a prime example of an outfit leaving Annapolis and coming to Bowie. They have 500 employees. The medical firm there across
MedImmune, yeah.
MedImmune. I think that 500 employees, some of them are Bowie residents already that worked over there, but now they're here. So we're going to wrap up. Anything on our show, this business show? One final comment.
Just everyone interested in the expo this Saturday to please check out the website or call the Chamber of Commerce.
All right, Alana. Thank you
very
very
much. Men can come too, right?
Yes, absolutely. Men are absolutely welcome. And it's a great experience for both men and women, definitely.
That's great, Alana. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll sign off. See you next time.